Gwen-Maker-of-Things says they've been watching a lot of Stargate recently. Nice. Want to know, they know that I'm a Star Wars and Star Trek fan, but how do I rate the other classic sci-fi universes? Battlestar, Farscape, Firefly. I am ignorant of Farscape. I apologize for that. It is a rich and deep and amazing world. A lot of it was executed by our friends at Henson. It's an amazing series. I'm very aware of how amazing it is. I love the reboot of Battlestar Galactica, and I grew up on the original. In fact, our intersection with Battlestar Galactica is from Bill Prady, who is the one of the creators of The Big Bang Theory. And Bill called my wife and I up, and he was like, hey, I'm just going to tell you something really important. Watch the 2-hour pilot of Battlestar Galactica and just then keep on watching it. He told us that during one of the earlier strikes, he just buttonholed Ron Moore, the showrunner for Battlestar Galactica's reboot, on the picket line and was basically like, hey, remember that one where you did this? That was cool. So Battlestar Galactica is some of the best social commentary ever done in science fiction. Really, really spectacular. Firefly, yeah, I love Firefly. I do love Firefly. I love the movie. I love the show. I love the whole cast. Every one of them a banger of a human. Yeah, really, really great show. Yeah, those are some of the sci-fi franchises that I like. What else did I watch growing up? Sci-fi. I'm trying to think. Like the extended universe. I'll have to think about that. Lovely question, Gwen. Gwen-Maker-of-Things. Is this your second question today? Not like, is it? Okay. Gwen says, I've got collaborators working towards an event in a couple of months. We're all enthusiastic volunteers, figuring it out as we go. However, as project lead, everyone is looking at me to answer every little question. Yeah. I want to delegate and empower them, but they don't seem ready. And it's giving me a lot of additional work. I see 3 options. 1, do everything myself. 2, scale back what we're doing. 3, fail. Is there some magical alternative? All right. No, I think those are the correct alternatives. I was just talking about making Savage Builds and Mythbusters Jr. Savage Builds in particular was the very first time I experienced what is referred to as decision fatigue. That there was a day on Savage Builds where around about 3 o'clock, someone asked me a question and my brain was like a Ren and Stimpy cartoon. And I was like, I had to go home. And I could not answer another question. Decision fatigue is absolutely real. It is mitigated by having a great team around you. But you are working where you are the project lead. So you're the leader, and everyone's looking at you to answer every little question. That's what being a project lead is, man. Yeah, that is it. There's a great documentary called Showrunner, which is interviewing producers in Hollywood about specifically the practice of show running a television show. And at one point, one of them goes, yeah, they're all coming at you, and they only have questions. Look, I am a bad delegator because I always want to do everything myself. And I've always been a poor delegator at that. I'm also a poor delegator because I'm sure that someone's not going to be able to do it as good as I want it. What it means is that when I delegate, I let go. And delegation is you gotta let go a little bit. You gotta accept things that are a little less than you want in order to if you're going to delegate. That's the reality. On any given crew, so you're wishing you had a bunch of self-starters, which is what every supervisor in creation since pyramids and 20,000 years before that have wished? The answer is you're only going to get a couple of the self-starters on your crew are going to be the minority. But you can sometimes find one of them and they can take some of your delegation. Haha, yeah. It's funny, when I first got here into San Francisco in 1990, I was doing bicycle messengering for a couple of days, and then I got hired at a local theater. And I started working in that theater, and within like 3 weeks, I was made assistant stage manager. And now I see what my supervisor saw in my young mind. And I saw you may only have one person on your crew who's a self-starter, but they actually may end up being a really valuable crew person because you could delegate some of the delegation to them. Look, your second option, scale back what we're doing, is really the answer here. It is you have to scale back what you're doing because you can't do everything yourself. So really the trick is here to realize what you can do with the crew you've been given, the volunteers, you're all working for free, I get it, and then execute that as best as you can. There's really not many other options. You can also, it's not unreasonable to explain to someone, I would like to be able to delegate a whole project to you, and let them start to wrap their heads around what they need to do. Oftentimes, when someone is not executing at the level you want, they can be helped by being given what the big picture is. I have always benefited in my work from knowing what the big picture is, and I like explaining to people that are working for me what the big picture is. That allows them to make calls in the field that I don't have to necessarily be across. I hope that is Gwen-Maker-of-Things. That's tricky. But that's yeah. One thing is every now and then I run into people who make stuff and run large crews. And every now and then, it's very rare, but it happens, where somebody insults their crew. Like tells me, yeah, the crew I had was a bunch of idiots. I don't take kindly to that. Like, you're given a crew, you got to make them work. Not to say if it doesn't work, it's all your fault, but like for a test pilot, there's no such thing as pilot error. You got to be able to fly that plane. And if you're complaining about your crew, you hired them. I recognize there may be situations in which you are running a crew you did not hire. I totally get that. Still, it's not worth insulting people that work for you. Don't do it. And you're always going to have some people on your crew that take a lot more of your time. Yeah, this is why. Yeah. So some of you may have seen the video that came out last year of that group of young dudes. I think they're all dudes that made a retractable lightsaber. And they showed it off at New York City Comic-Con and were blowing everybody's minds. My favorite part about that story isn't the lightsaber. It's that these like 5, 6, 7 dudes found each other in college and are still working together. And that is, they found the magic of like, hey, we collaborate well, let's keep doing this. And I just want nothing but more success for them as they work together. When you find people that you vibe with and work well together with, even in your early days of making, I exhort you to keep them close. I feel like the team I get to work with now is selected in that way of like, everybody takes care of their stuff. And it's like, nothing's better than that, man. And people that you work and vibe well together are rare. They're rare. And when they happen, you got to pay attention to that and like try and make that happen again. Look, there's still some people I hope to find opportunities to work with in the future. People from my past that I have worked with. And I'm just sitting, building, I'm not expanding this company very much, but like, if expansion did happen, I definitely know who I would call. Good luck, Gwen-Maker-of-Things. I also want to hear an update to this one. I would love to know. All right, let's see here. Thank you for watching. I wanted to talk to you about tested membership. The tested members are a key community that we find really, really remarkable. That's very separate from tested and from YouTube. The tested members, they buy each other memberships during our live streams. So if you're wondering whether to become a member, watch one of our live streams and someone may just give you one. It is hard to overestimate how much the tested members actually make possible on this channel. They give us a lot of wiggle room. They give us a huge amount of feedback.
That's a member right now.
Thank you so much for enjoying your membership. Description for everything you need to know. And for all the members out there, thank you, thank you, thank you.